Alright, so in this video, we're going to look at we're going to look at graphing an ellipse. So here's the standard form. It says the standard form for the equation of ellipse with center at the origin and major and minor axes of lengths 2a and 2b. A and b are positive, and a squared is greater than b squared. Alright, so here you can see we've got x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared equals 1, and x squared over b squared plus y squared over a squared equals 1. So the difference in the two is, notice the a squared, here it's under the x squared, here it's under the y squared. Alright, and a squared is the larger number of the two. So if the larger number is under the x squared, the graph is going to look like this. See, the a squared's under the x squared. This is going to be your major axis. It's going to be horizontal. And if the a squared, the larger number, which is a squared, is under y squared, your graph's going to look like this. Okay? And your major axis is vertical. Alright, see how the a squared's under the y squared? Alright, so let's look in this example. Notice these are the equations here. But notice it says with center at the origin. That's when the center is at 0, 0. Okay? But if we have an ellipse that's not at the center, the equation's going to look a little different. It's going to look like this. It's going to be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared, and that's over a squared, and this is over b squared, and that equals 1. And also here you can have the same thing, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals 1, and this is over a squared, and this is over b squared. Now the graphs is going to be the same as far as the major axis being horizontal, which would be this one, and the major axis being vertical, which would be this one. Okay, the difference is the center is not going to be at 0, 0. The center is going to be HK. Okay, this is your center. All right, and then other than that, everything's worked the same. Okay, now this point here and this point here is not going to be what A is, and I'll explain that more when we work the problem. But then also the foci, well, the formula to find that is c squared is equal to a squared minus b squared. That's how we can find the foci. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at our example. And so you can see here we have our example. All right, so let's go ahead and get our center. Let's get A, B, and C. All right, so our center is 1, negative 2. Okay, so the reason it's 1, negative 2 is because, see, we have x minus h squared, and in this case, see, the a squared is under this term, so this would be b squared plus, and then we have y minus k squared over a squared. All right. All right. So see, this is positive 1 and this is negative 2, because see, our equation is in this form here, x minus h, and see what we have is we have x minus 2 squared, and we have x minus 1 squared and x plus and y plus 2 squared. That's the numerators. All right, we'll see, here's your x, there's your minus sign, and there's h, which is 1. Here, there's your y, but notice this is a plus. We need to write it as minus. So how can we rewrite plus 2? Well, we can write it as minus negative 2. And so now we have our minus sign, and then here's k, which is negative 2. The easiest way to remember it for this, because our formula has x minus h and y minus k, your hk for your center, it's going to be the opposite sign of what you see in front. So since this is a minus in front, it's positive. Since this is a positive in front, it's negative. Okay, so there's our center. Now let's go ahead and get a squared. Okay, well, a squared is 9. Okay, remember, a squared is the larger of these two. So a squared is 9, which that means, and that's all this is, implies, okay, that's what that symbol's for, implies a equals 3. Okay, and then b squared is equal to 2, okay, which implies b squared is 4, which implies b equals 2. All right. And then c, so we know c squared is equal to a squared, which is 9, minus b squared, which is 4, which that equals 5. So c squared is equal to 5, which implies c equals the square root of 5. And we know the square root of 5, it's about, let's see, it's, it's 2 point something. So it comes out to be about 2.24 if we round it to 2 decimal places. All right, so now we've got everything, so let's go ahead and draw our graph. So let's plot our center, 1, negative 2, so 1, negative 2. So there's our center, okay? All right, and then, all right, here's our A. Now remember, our A term, our A squared is under the Y. So this A tells us how we move up and down, okay, because it's under the Y. All right, so we go up 1, 2, 3 units, and here we go down 1, 2, 3 units. Okay, so there's these points. So this is the point 1, 1, and this is the point 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the point 1, 5. All right. Now for our b, that's 2. So since b squared is under the x, that tells us how we move left and right. So b is 2, so that means we go to the right 2 units, and then we go to the left 2 units. Okay, so this would be the point, let's see, 1, 2, 3, negative 2, and this would be negative 1, negative 2 for that point. And then we can draw in our ellipse, and I know that doesn't look very good, but that's what it is. And you can label this. I don't know if I got enough room. Let's see. So this is the point. Well, I'm not going to have enough room because I got to put the foci in there. But you can label that. You can arrow into it, maybe like this, and put 1, negative 2. All right. Now let's plot our foci. So the foci means that from the center, okay, now since our major axis is vertical, if you remember, if you look at our graph here, our foci is on your major axis. Okay, so it's going to go up and down. See, if a squared was under the x squared term, our foci would be on the horizontal axis, okay, which would be the major axis for that. All right, so let's go ahead and plot that. So it's 2.24. So that means from the center we go up 2.24 and down 2.24. So we're going to go, let's see, 1, 2, and then we'll go up a little bit more. Whoop. And then we'll go up a little bit more. And then we go down 1, 2, and then a little bit more to get to the 2.25. And so these are your foci, and you can arrow in and label those also. Well, that's going to be the point what? 1, 1, and then, well, You might want to get a calculator out for that. So that's going to be what? For this point, that's going to be 2.24 minus 2. Okay, we go up 2. See, or from here it's 2.25, and then we take off the 2. And so that would give us 0.24. So we didn't need a calculator there. And then this point, well, we come down 2, and then we got to go 2.24 more. Okay, so 2 plus 2.24, well, that's going to give us the point 4.24. All right, and so that's your graph. And check out the other videos. I have some more of these graphing these ellipses. So I hope this helped. Subscribe to the videos. Check out my other ones. And thanks for watching.